Hi guys, it's Andy from Man City Fan TV. How is everyone today on this bit overcast day on a Sunday? So what I thought I'd do today is just do a quick live vlog. I know I always say quick, so I do apologise. Yeah, today we're going to talk about SANE. Harris Khan, how are you, pal? Very well. Hope you're okay. We're going to talk about SANE, and it's called Agent SANE. Hey, what's that? Kabdullah, hey, Kulo. How are you, mate? You're new. Football fan chat, how are you? Ian Mutongai. Hi, Andy Ian from Kenya. No, yeah, mate. Hope it's nice out there. Weather's good. Brad Niblock, how's your weekend been? Yeah, well, still the weekend now, but we had we've got family over from Miami, so we had a big barbecue last night, and yeah, it was nice because we bought a chimenea, but that was about 3-4 weeks ago, and we've never had a chance to use it because the weather's been garbage. So last night, it was a nice night, so I thought, well, what I'll do is I'll go and buy some kindling and some logs, because it says don't use charcoal on there, and then it was just burning through the kindling and logs like you wouldn't believe. So in the end, I thought, we're having a barbecue, so I went and just got some charcoal in the end, and it was fine, but it was a late one, so catching up, and yeah, it was about 1:30 in the morning or something like that by the time I got to bed. So it was a late night, but it was great. It was great catching up with family, and so we only see them once or twice a year, which is brilliant. So my nieces and nephews were out and about and around, so it was great. Abhishek, how are you, mate? I'm good. I'm very well, thank you. Gary Deneen, how are you, buddy? Believer, did you watch Ray's video? You should settle things with him. Very sad what's happened. I did. I'm not sure I really want to go into it, if I'm honest with you, but there was some things in there which well, there's a few things I found extremely strange, but anyway. You're from Somalia, Mogadishu. I'm assuming that is Zezo Foot. Mahrez have a game today versus Kenya. He's captain by all accounts, I believe. So yeah, that's it. They're kicking off at the first game against Kenya. Go watch it. I might do. I'm just doing some work as well, so I just thought while they've all gone out to Chester, but my lad Will's just come back from work, so he's just walked in. I thought I'd do a quick live vlog while I've got the house to myself. Support him like we support City. Yeah, absolutely support him. Like I said, I'm not that fussed about international football, if I'm being honest with you. But yeah, I hope he does really well, seeing as though he's the captain as well. Benjamin Doku, hi Andy, hope you're doing great. We love you in Ghana, you're a good man. Thank you, Benjamin, very much. Though you won't think of it if you listen to others. Gary Deneen, how do you not drink any German beer? You know what, I'm not. Years and years and years ago, I used to drink beer, but I don't really drink beer now. Unless I'm in somewhere where it's boiling hot and you can have a cold one. But I'm not really a beer drinker, if I'm being honest with you. Blue Heart, good afternoon, Andy. How are you? I'm very well, mate. How are you? Dylan Wolfenden. Hi, Andy. Hi, mate. You're new. Where are you from? Music now. You could start an argument in a box. Yeah, I probably could, mate. According to what, if you believe legend and things like that, then yeah. Such a terrible channel. Okay, so we'll have to put, this is obviously one of Hyde user on this channel. There we go. So we've got rid of him because you're going to get them and it's just pointless getting into sort of arguing with idiots. What I missed, nothing J Fresh done. I've only just come on. Chester AL. No barbecue today, bitchily again. Supposed to be midsummer. Chester AL. Chester, is that, you live in Chester, or is that your name, Chester Al? Yeah, it's a bit overcast today here. Hope the Blues, says Midnight Crisis, absolutely. Andy Dope. Well, I think if I disagree with you or I tell you off as doing something wrong, that means I'm bullying you by all accounts. So, hey. You're in Upton, mate. Okay, well, I'm in Tatnall, so not far from you. Took my football teams to Upton many a time. Always got good teams, Upton. Upton have always been very, very good football teams. Youth level I'm talking about. Very, very good teams. To be fair, I think this whole situation is to put to bed and let's concentrate on football, and that's enough now. Yeah, well, it is what it is, mate. But sometimes sometimes I'm at the stage now, and me and Ray have had a bit of a conversation over the last 24 hours, and I was surprised by the video. I'll say that I was very, very surprised at a few things in there. Can I be difficult? Yeah. Can I dish out, and say, if I disagree with something? Yeah. Will I do it? Yeah. Has Ray given me bollockings over things in the past? Yeah. Has he called me all the names under the sun, C words and everything else? Yeah. Do I feel like I'm bullied? No. It's it's the way business works. It's the way the world works, Could I have worded things in a different way? Yeah, of course I could. But, I certainly wouldn't go around saying, oh, I feel like I've been bullied and I've been this. I mean, and some of the stuff that was said in the video, I found quite strange, certainly when certain excerpts were being read from WhatsApp messages that were supposed to be private, without my permission at all. And I found the irony in that he allegedly complained about the Rabin video, and said he would have gone mad about being recorded, even though he knows that Rabin was asked about being recorded. And then goes and reads from private messages without my permission. So the irony there is I find it quite strange and bizarre, if I'm being honest. And then talks about a strike on YouTube, and that was my fault. And it was my fault. That was totally my fault. Absolutely my fault for doing it. I just put an insert of another channel playing something or other, and we got a bit of a YouTube hit. And he had a big go at me over that, and fine, fair enough, yeah, that was my fault. Absolutely no problem with that whatsoever. But then he brings it up about copyright issues and things like that. It's interesting. This morning I nearly reported him to YouTube for actually using Man City Fan TV logo on his video that he did about the truth without my permission. So, but I thought, I'm not playing tit for tat. I could report you and have the video removed. He'd have to start again. I'll change the actual thumbnail because it's got Man City Fan TV logo on it. But I'm not going down that route. It's just one of those things. So anyway, it's just the irony, I find that's the thing. But anyway, it is what it is. Did you have a good night out with your better half the other night? Yes, yeah, it was very good. Yeah, it was great. Bayern Munich is Chris Chan. John Walters, Bayern Munich is Chris Chan. What does that mean? Hi Andy, hope you're well. I'm good, Smithy, 68. Can't wait for the league to start. Yeah, neither can I. It's getting a bit boring. That's good. You're gonna kill the beef for having a subscribe to Ray's How to Feel Sorry for Yourself channel. Andy, do you watch Can 29 or Copa Americas or Euro 29? Yeah, I mean, I watch sort of the World Cup stuff, I must admit. I mean, of course I will, and the Euros and things like that, but as far as the other stuff, I mean, the Nations League and things like that, I watched a bit of it, but I wasn't really interested. I just want the Premier League to start again, if I'm being honest with you. So, SANE for City. Yeah, there's some different news that's coming out today about Leroy SANE. There's a lot of games today. There's loads. I think we've got we've got England women's against, is it Cameroon? I think, is it around 4 o'clock. That should be interesting. Jay Fresh is the Caribbean. You and your friends cuss each other out all the time. It's all still good. Yeah, it's the way it is. Are you getting another presenter for YouTube? That's between me and several other people. Get over the Ray thing. Yeah, well, I've not done any videos slagging off Ray and things like that. So, talking about our relationship and things. So it's a bit difficult when other people start saying things about you and there's no recourse. And, do you just ignore it? And then everyone else have already had the whole issue of people on here going, oh, bully. They don't even know me. They don't even know whether what in fact has been said. Just taking parts of messages and just making that part sound like that's in your favour without, when I've read the whole transcript of it, there's lots of other things. So, Do you and Stephen get on? I don't speak to Stephen. I got blocked by Stephen because of Ray's rant with him in January, the whole thing that happened. So I've never spoken to Stephen since. I have tried to build bridges in the past and said what I even said the day after it happened with Ray. I'll apologise on behalf of the channel. I don't think it was ever meant to get that far. But he refused. So it's one of those things is, you know, maybe sometimes I've realised on Twitter that I never used to block people. Though I have blocked people, don't get me wrong, but I never used to do it as a routine. But somebody said to me, you know what, sometimes it's better just to block them. Don't get involved in it. You know, it's one of those things and you'll feel better for it. And actually, I see some of the stuff and it's like block. And I've blocked loads over the last, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 weeks. And actually, it's a better thing to do than try and just get into arguments. And I've had arguments on Twitter, of course I have. You know, Andy, I'm joking, the rabbit thing is dead and buried, yeah. Hi, Andy, hope you're well. Keep up the good work as always, mate. Head bumps, aka Andy B. Thanks, buddy. Thank you very much. I've had a pet. I have had a pet bunyip. What's that? Have you been on the grog job? Steve Paul Dancer, Andy, you have your own business and travel to different countries because of it. And of course, you're going to have arguments from time to time. Yeah, of course you are. Of course you are. Weekends are dead until the season. Yeah, I mean, it's just, you wake up and you're thinking, oh, where's the football? Where's this? Or there's nothing. Blue Heart, come on, Georgia Stanway and the City Lionesses. Oh, Brad Niblock, are you still on here, mate? Was it Georgia Stanway that you went to school with? You showed me a photograph of her when we met up at the Etihad. I'm sure it was it Georgia Stanway? If it is, can you just let me know? Brad Niblock, who comes on here, went to school. He was in the same class with, I'm sure it was Georgia Stanway. I might be wrong, but let me know, Brad Niblock, was it or not? And I hope you're feeling better, mate. Hello, Reese Woodbridge. How are you, mate? How's your hat? I went round to Reese's house and dropped his hat off the other week. Just recovering from a night of not. Oh, you lucky bugger. Whereabouts? Where was that? Where is Rob these days? I don't know, mate. I haven't spoke to him. Like I said, I was busy yesterday with a barbecue and everything else. But I messaged Rob this morning to ask him when the next pod's coming out. So I'm waiting for him to get back to me. Can't believe what's happened between you and Ray over some rabbit guy. Well, it is what it is, Reese. It's, you know. And it's over. Can we talk about City? Yeah, absolutely. Of course we can, mate. So, Agent SANE. Well, he was looking after a neighbour's dog. Yeah, the one that was yapping. Agent SANE, right, okay. Looks like, according to some reports, that his friends are saying that, are claiming that Leroy SANE is going to be definitely not going to Bayern Munich, and he's decided that he wants to stay at Man City, and as we know, he's negotiating with City right now as it stands. One of the reasons they claim that there's a delay in whether there's an announcement of an actual contract extension for Leroy SANE, he's got 2 years left to go, is that he's actually looking for a new agent. So, as we know before, I think it was his mother was looking after him as his agent. Well, now she no longer is doing that. Now, if that is true, whether there's been a family fallout or whether he's decided it's now time, he wants to get a proper agent who can clearly negotiate better and get him a bigger signing on fee, or get him more wages, or, you know, image rights, or whatever it might be in his contract. So the worry is, who is that agent going to be? When you certainly look around and you see, you know, what Raiola's doing at the moment, and you think, God, Jesus Christ, imagine if he did take, you know, Raiola as his agent. Pep, I don't think Pep and Cheeky would be too impressed with it, but maybe that is the reason why that he wanted. I think his friends claimed, and if the reports are true, his friends claimed that he didn't want to go back to Germany because he felt like he would always be under scrutiny out there. Obviously, because he's German, plays for Germany, etc., and clearly feels that he doesn't have that level of scrutiny in the Premier League at Man City. So So maybe that's the delay in the whole Sane thing, because I would imagine that City will be very, very keen to get him signed on another 4-year or 5-year deal. On, you know, so let's say another additional 3 years to his 2 years that he's got left, just to secure him. City, I really can't see City wanting to get rid of Leroy Sane. I really can't, because the potential is massive, absolutely massive. So maybe it is the fact that he's still in the process of trying to negotiate with a new agent, and that's what's delaying it, because clearly if he's not got an agent, or he doesn't want his mother representing him in contract negotiations, then, you know, clearly Cheeky and Ferran can't do anything, because they've got no one they can actually approach. So maybe that actually is, maybe that's the reason for the delay in the whole Sane saga. So it'll be interesting to see what happens and who his agent is actually going to be. Let's go back and have a look. What else have we got here? Was that the crooked Billy Woolstone Burnley, Andy? Don't know it. Don't know that place, mate. But Northern Soul, I'm sure it was a wonderful night. Andy, can we talk about VAR and how bad it is? Okay, what do you want to talk about? I did cover VAR, well, only briefly VAR, not yesterday, I think the day before. But what do you want to talk about? What is it when you say it's so bad? Let me know what is it you think is bad about it. It's coming in. We've no choice about it. His mum does his contract deals. She does. Well, she did do, if the rumours are true. VAR is a disgrace. Why? Okay, John Walters, why do you think it's a disgrace? Leroy has to say, stay. I agree, but we need to get this contract sorted out one way or the other as quick as we can. It makes a mockery of the game. To be honest, I'd love Leroy to stay when he's on his world class and better. Oh, I mean, when he's on form, and he's one of the best players in world football. There's no doubting about it. And I think Pep knows that, and you can imagine how frustrated Pep is with him, because Pep's clearly said he can be absolutely anything in world football that he wants. So Pep must be tearing his hair out, what if he had any, thinking, you know, basically, what is wrong with you, kid? Because I can get you there, and you can get you there, but you've got to do it. So Paul Bannigan, Paul Blue, Oasis, hi, how are you, mate? Been on a thing last night. I was got a thing for Oasis again. The last few days, last night, I just was out on my phone, going back through all the old albums and everything else, listening to them again. Not listened to them for a long time, but just been on a bit of an Oasis thing at the moment. When do you think you'll get 10k? No idea. We'll get there when we get there. Rodri and Maguire confirmed deals. Nothing is confirmed yet. Nothing at all about Rodri and Maguire is confirmed. I think, is Rodri coming? Yes, I think he definitely is. Is Maguire coming? I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure. I think if the fee is right, then maybe, maybe he'll come. Cobby, watch the Women's World Cup to understand the mess VAR is doing. Like I said, I haven't watched. I must admit, I've heard things. Like I said, I've been in Germany all week, so I haven't seen much of it. But then I did hear a few things on the radio talking about the goalkeeping stuff and whatever else, and it did seem a bit of a farce. I think VAR in general is there. Is a good idea. I just think the way it's implemented and the people who are actually running it. Now, will it get better? Maybe it'll get better the more it's used, but should we all go back to the old days? I mean, I guess if your teams are, on the wrong side of results, which City have been, let's face it, or decisions, I should say, then you probably want VAR if you're a team that gets away with a lot of things, like Liverpool. Then maybe they don't particularly want it in. Ali, I want Pep to try and play Leroy on the right and Sterling on the left. Would be interesting. We've seen Sane cut in from the right and hit some absolute screamers. Philip Scott Surety, car is too open to corruption. I think you mean VAR. I'm hoping you mean VAR. Which car are you talking about? But yeah, if you're talking about VAR, well, yeah, I mean, there is that there is that opportunity to, you know, because at the end of the day, they're only showing what they want to show. So yeah, it is open. You would hope not, but Steve Black, hi, we seem to have a collection of goalies. I presume Bravo's off. No, I really don't think Bravo is off. I think he'll be number 2 next year. And then we've got the Ibar keeper. Looks like that's a done deal. And like I said in the video we did the other day, when people were saying that they think Bravo should be off and blah, 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 I think it'll be Muric and Daniel Grimshaw are the ones who'll go on loan and go and get some experience. I think it'll be Edison 1, Bravo 2, and the keeper from Ibar to be the third choice goalie. And also, he's been watched, like I said, yesterday or the day before, he's been watched by the Man City goalkeeping coach. Go and watch the video I did on it. And the City goalkeeping coach, who's been at City now through, this is Pep's the 3rd manager whilst he's still been here. And he, by all accounts, the new goalkeeper from Ibar is going to be working as part of the goalkeeping coaching role, not just be the 3rd goalkeeper. So he's going to be actually learning the ropes as a goalkeeping coach because he's, what, 35 now. So, hey Andy, you'd make a good agent. MCFCT should have an agency. They'd all fall out with me because I'm just a really nasty person. So they'd all run away. I'll start whining about something because I told them to do this. John Walters, VR stops the flow of the match, takes the authority away from the referee. Can't believe what you are watching. Yeah, it does do that. I agree, and I mean, you know, like I said, I'm not in either camp. I'm sort of, I can see the positives when it goes your way, but I can see also the delay in the game. And when we saw it, I was at the Spurs match. I mean, you remember the Sterling offside goal. And that was just, I was jumping up and down and celebrating, and you can see the camera and around the crowd and everything. And then suddenly VAR is announced, and it's like, huh? And then all the Tottenham fans are all sort of singing and things like that. A-bar, okay, A-bar, Neil Hanstock. So, yeah, that delay is there. So you've had all this emotion, and then suddenly it comes up and it's disallowed, and it's like, whoa. But then the other team are all jumping up and down. So it does stop the flow. It does need to, you know, be done quicker. And we've seen it work. We have seen it in Russia. It works well on occasion. So it can work well. It just needs to be consistent. Oasis playlist on the odd weekend on Alexa. Yeah. I went through some old stuff last night. It was great. I watched Australia last night, and it was a disgrace. A penalty overturned when it was a clear penalty. And that's, you know, was that from the ref? Oh, I didn't see the game, but was that from the ref overturned it by watching, or how did it happen? I thought it was supposed to be used for clear and obvious errors. The refs are stopping games, checking for all kinds. Well, you think that's the problem? That's what they're going to do. They're going to. It's another little, say, comfort blanket into, you know. It's rather than sort of going, right, I'm sticking to my decision. They've got the option now to stop the game and get a second opinion. I don't like City buying expensive English players just to fill our allocation. Certainly not at that price. Now, I think I said the other day, if it was around about 60, 65 million, you'd go, okay, well, Walker was 54 and blah, blah, blah. Another 10 million or so for Maguire. I think that's probably fair and proper, and what is probably worth sort of 10 million less than Van Dijk went for. You go, that's fine. I've no problems with that. And I've no real problems with Maguire per se. It's just, I just don't think 95 million quid, which was what originally Leicester were saying, is just, I think it's just crazy money for him. All right, it's not our money, and maybe we've got the money, and it don't really matter. We just get the player that we want. But yeah, I think 65 million. Yeah, you know, he's a good, decent defender, and he's English, and Pep, you know, Pep seems to like him. You know, he can play out from the back. He is big and strong. He's good in the air. So maybe that's something we are missing. That sort of old school sort of defender that we don't really have now. Vinny's gone. So if it was around about 65 million, I think I'd be quite happy with that if he does come. Bertoli, hello Andy. It seems we'll announce new signings once Puma kit. Yeah, I mean, we've mentioned this before. Maybe everything will be done when that kit is launched prior to the prior to the tour and everyone back from the holidays. SANE could be saying, SANE could be staying, media saying, hello guys. English Mastiff. Yeah, mentioned it before with his agent. Maybe it's the fact that he's actually looking for a new agent. I think his mother was his agent before, but maybe that's the reason why things are stalling. We don't know whether Sane's talking to Cheeky and Ferran, and they're coming to some sort of verbal agreement. But Sane's saying, well, until I get an agent, I want to stay, I want to sign, but the financial side of things, contractual stuff, I want my agent to deal with it. But I haven't got an agent yet. I'm looking for an agent. So maybe that's the delay. We don't know. Didn't we get an American goalie recently? Yeah, he'll be going out on loan, I think. Stefan, that's Stefan. So I think he'll be going out on loan. But maybe not. Maybe they get rid of Bravo. Who knows? And Stefan will be number 2. We'll wait and see. But I've got a feeling the likes of Muric and Grimshaw will probably go on loan. When you used to film your videos with close-ups, why don't you film with flags behind you anymore? Well, it means me putting flags all over the doors and things like that. Yeah, and people were saying, oh, you're too close to the camera and sit back a bit and things. So I'll just sit down now. Riley Melman, what are your thoughts on improving the Etihad atmosphere? Well, it's a $1 million question, isn't it? And I think, I'll be honest with you, I think when you go and on nights, on certain nights, the Liverpool night, the Spurs game, the Leicester game, and things like that, the atmosphere can be absolutely incredible and doesn't really need improving per se, but we're just not getting that consistency in there. And I think probably the singing section, the wall of noise and things like that, if standing does come in, maybe that will help. VAR decision with the handball, but yeah, I agree with that. I mean, that's the one that's going to bring in, because you're going to see it next season. You're going to see players are just going to be tricky and just flick it up onto somebody's arm. And if the arm is in any sort of, they're going to post these images, aren't they, of, if your arm is in this particular, everything is just natural. Your arm will go whatever. If you're going down, your arms go out to a fall. If you're pulling back, if you're going up for a header, your arms are up here because you need leverage. So if somebody just flicks it up and it hits your arm, and it's madness. Main Road atmosphere was electric. It was on the whole, it was. But you know what? And I've said this before on videos that I've done, and I've said it. I think I've said it on after the match at the Etihad, and when I spoke about it immediately afterwards on live vlogs and things like that. You've got to remember, you remember, I remember, when we were at Main Road, most of the time, the crowd had to get the players up for the game because we were shit. We were garbage. So we had to sing and we had to get that atmosphere and we had to try and get behind the players. Now sometimes you're there and you're watching the most incredible football that you don't always want to just keep singing and looking at, opposition fan. You're actually focused on the game because it's just wonderful to watch. So I think if we were crap, I still think we could raise the atmosphere in the Etihad. I think we can definitely make it. We would definitely make it better. But I just think sometimes in the Main Road era, or even sort of pre-Sheikh Mansour takeover, we weren't that great, and maybe the atmosphere was better because we weren't that great, and we had to get behind the team. I don't know. That's just my my opinion on sort of the Main Road days and things. Going to Wembley for the Community Shield. Yeah, and George Gerrard. Hopefully I'll be there. Blue Heart, get ready for players deliberately kicking ball. Yeah, just said that. That's the thing. It's crazy. Absolute madness. And you know what it's going to be like. Is that bringing the game into disrepute? Is that cheating at the end of the day? Is actually purposely kicking a ball against somebody's arm to get an advantage and a penalty? Is that cheating in a way? So we'll see. John Walters, every game in the Women's World Cup is badly affected by this VAR. Can we just have football like it's always been? Not perfect, but free-flowing. Yeah, I agree with you on that side. Maguire is a good defender, says Gerard. What do you think of our goalkeeper situation? Brad staying, Muric on loan. Yeah, I've just said that, Brad. I think he'll. I personally think it'll be Edison Bravo and this A-bar keeper, and the likes of Muric, Stefan, and Grimshaw will probably go on loan. I might be wrong. I mean, it might be Bravo goes on loan and Stefan comes in. We'll see. But I do think Muric and Grimshaw will go on loan. John Grogan, what do you think of our new home and away kits? Well, I haven't seen them. I've seen the pictures on social media and things if they are the kits. So I would have preferred just blue and white. That's simple. I'll be honest with you, I'm not keen on having, you know, the purple and whatever on the sleeves as a home kit. I would just rather it just be blue and white. The blue one, that looks like a bag of licorice, all sorts. Not keen on that whatsoever. I'll be honest with you. I'm not a kit person. I don't buy kits. I don't buy tops. I don't wear them. Whatever. I haven't done since I was a kid. Since I was a teenager, I've never bought kits or shirts or things like that. Just never been for me. I think from my days of Main Road, when in the early sort of, you know, all right, maybe not the late 70s when I was watching City, but when I started going with my mates and things, the casuals, and you know, you went to certain grounds and even round Main Road, you know, you had to be careful of showing your colours because, you know, as you guys know, there was lots of trouble. So I think from then I used to just wear casual gear, my own gear, and I think that's just led on to where I am now. I don't buy shirts and things. So, but looking at if that blue and pink and whatever other colour on it, no, not for me. But I'm sure people will buy them. The other one, if it is it like a yellow orange or something like that, yeah, a bit garish, but hey, I'm sure people will buy them. With this taste, I'd done platinum this year and joined every cup scheme. Shame that unless you pay, you fall behind. Well, lots of arguments about that on Twitter. Bayern Munich wants Sane. Well, I think there's been conflicting reports about it. You know, there's been rumours that Bayern wanted him. They were prepared to pay 70 million. City had turned around and allegedly said no, they want 90 million. Then Bayern Munich came out and said we haven't put any offer in for Sane. Then I said on the vlog the other day that Robert Lewandowski's turned around and said we're really, and they were quotes, we're really looking forward to Sane coming to Bayern Munich. The facts are today, his friends allegedly are saying that Sane doesn't want to go back to Germany, doesn't want to be in the scrutiny of the media and things like that. He wants to stay, negotiate a new contract, but it's all to do with his agent. He needs a new agent. I prefer Alderweireld to Maguire, despite the fact that he's a bit older. You're not going to get many more years out of him, Alderweireld. That's the only problem, but it'd certainly be a hell of a lot cheaper. We know he's decent, without shadow of a doubt. VAR should only be for offsides and tackles in the box, handball. Yeah, I agree with that. Totally agree. Why is there less documentaries this season when it was more successful in historic? Yeah, good point. I'm sure there's some behind the scenes stuff, but it would have been good to do a part 2 to the Amazon stuff. That would have been brilliant. Sign Manny Matt Hale. All right, I'm late, but I'm here. Let's go. Okay, so can we go now? We've been on for nearly 35 minutes, mate. Cheaper season tickets would improve. I agree, UK Misfit. I mean, there's the argument of some people paid £10 extra, others paid £30 extra, and you know, for the football we're seeing, is that really so bad? And do City really need to put the prices up? Could they have put £10 off? And you know, season ticket prices don't really make that much for the club. So yeah, everyone has their own thoughts and opinions on it. Steve Black, no news on any strikers, so I presume we won't get any this year, which is fine. Though I expect a replacement for Aguero next couple. Yeah, I'll be very surprised. I mean, there was obviously the Felix rumours. We're still waiting. Has he definitely signed for Atletico? He can play in that attacking role, but maybe not as a striker. I'll be honest, I can't see City going in for a striker. I just can't. So we should have safe standing the complete length of the East Stand and get the Kippax atmosphere back. I still prefer it behind the goals, I must admit. I do prefer it behind the goals, or one goal in particular, rather than the East Stand. That's my own personal, view. Yeah, I think safe standing is a must, and I think Caldoon said in his interview, didn't he? He said that people are, we're just, I think, waiting till what the government say on it and whether the government give the all clear. And I don't think there'll be any plans to just start expanding the North Stand, family stand, until they know if safe standing is going to be allowed. It's pointless then going and building another 6,000 seats and then realising, oh, and by the way, safe standing is now legal. So I think they'll wait until a decision has been made. Then they'll already have plans in place anyway. I'm sure that for the development work, plans are already probably in place, but they'll wait and say, right, here's option one. If safe standing doesn't come in, we can expand here. Or if they say it does, option two is we put a standing section here, we move these here, and we build here. And I think those plans are already in place. The thing I sense in some big games, we all want to sing, but sing different chants and doesn't spread or sing like it should. Wall of noise needed. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you, Reese. And as you know, it takes a while for it to come round, and by then they've stopped, and it doesn't really all get in one go. Mike Perry says, do you think we should concentrate on the Champions League or retaining? Still Premier League for me, mate. Though I do think we should have a real good go at that Champions League. And I think we did this season. A couple of things didn't go our way. Maybe Pep got his selection wrong in the away leg at Spurs when Sergio missed the penalty. But I think we had a good go at it this season, if I'm being honest. Just hoping Pep... I think the big talking point is, Pep seems to, when it gets to the latter stages, quarterfinals, wherever, he just seems to tinker a little bit much and maybe overthink it instead of just going, just play our game. Let's just play the game we play. And, even if it's two legs, let's just go out and play our game. And if we go away for the first leg, just go at it. And if we get beat 2-0, then we know what we're in for on the home leg. But he sometimes just tinkers around a little bit too much. I remember when City could find Flea, Jeremy Corbyn's beard. Philip, do you think we should play second string in both domestic cups to try and win the... Well, I think there'll be a mixture. If you saw the video I did yesterday on the different possible team formations and lineups and things like that, I put out a cup 11. And now I'm not saying that would be a cup 11 that Pep would put out, but just looking at it and who was in it, there was hardly any first teamers in it, and the team still looked really, really strong. I can't remember who was in it now. I think it was something along the lines of Bravo in net, Walker at right back, Garcia and Fernandinho. But that could be Otamendi. We don't know what's happening with him yet. Left back, Angelino, if he does come. You could have Fernandinho in the central defensive midfield, or John Stones. I put Zinchenko on the left of midfield, Foden on the right, SANE on the left up front, Gabby Jesus with Mahrez on the right. And it's like, looking at a team now, I'm not just, like I said, I tried to just throw in a load of players that I'd not really put in the other teams. That's a really, really strong team for a cup, for a league, Carabao Cup or something like that. So I think our squad depth is absolutely immense. It's incredible. Was I a member of the governors? No, I wasn't, mate. Show your colours in a phrase you don't hear enough anymore. Yeah. Well, that's the way it was back then. People still obviously did, but back in the sort of early 80s, you had to be careful. I mean, like I said, I remember outside Main Road playing against Liverpool once and seeing Liverpool fans in front of me. Liverpool / somebody with a Stanley knife. The guy had like a Peter Storm cagoule on, and he just slashed him right the way through, right across his waist. And this guy didn't even realise. He just sort of held his side, and this Liverpool fan with a scarf around just walked off. And it was only then that the pain of it hit him, and he fell to the floor, and there was just blood pouring out of his back. And because it was difficult times. It really was. It was dangerous. and you know all the outside main road with the alleyways and things like that. I mean, I used to live on Thornton Road, just around the corner, so I used to know all those alleyways. And you get caught there, you know, walking down those roads by opposition fans and things, and you know you've got your city top on, then you could be in some serious trouble. Hi Andy, what do you think of Ray's video? Oh, I'm not really going to go there, Robert. I think you've had your say over on Ray's video. Price of cable here is like a season ticket. Really? Is it? Well, how much does that cost? Imagine you saying that here. I think there was a report on it the other day. I think, was it in the MEN or something like that? And they were saying if you have a top tier of everything, Sky Sports, full package, BT. I looked at mine, I must admit, and I've got BT Sports. I've got the full Sky packages and everything else. It's bloody expensive. I think I paid 94 quid a month, I think it was. And that's for my BT and my Sky and everything that's included. That's a lot of money, and if you add that up, that's over 1,000 quid. Imagine a season ticket you could have just for that. All right, yeah, you're watching all the other games and everything else that goes on, but you know, it's really expensive. We can get a couple of more years out of Otamendi. I think so. I thought I thought Otamendi's never let us down last season. I thought he did really well, and the season before he was in the Premier League's team of the year. So I've got, you know, I like Otamendi. I think he's done really well. I think it's actually improved even more. What are your thoughts on Peter Swales? Well, I think I was one of the boo boys and everything else that nobody liked him. But if you go back and watch the interview I did with, I sat down with David White for 2 days last summer and did the interview all about his book and his career and everything else. So it's on the channel. You can go back and watch it. Really interesting video. And I asked him about Peter Swales and said, what were your thoughts on Swales at the time? And he said Peter Swales was a really good guy, really good guy in a difficult situation, and got a lot of flack basically. So it's interesting coming from an ex-player who was close to Peter Swales. I mean, I don't mean a friendly, but I mean as in he knew him inside out. So, you know, I think fans, you know, I'm sure there'll be people on the inside who might look at the likes of Mike Ashley and go, you know, actually he was trying to do this and he was trying to do that. You know, once he sells and goes on, and in the past, in the future, somebody will say something. But that's interesting, I thought, from David White, you know, somebody on the inside at the time when the Swales Out campaign. Cosmic Baggy, Champions League or Prem, if we can have one of these, well, got to be Premier League, mate. You think this season back-to-back was immense. Imagine going back-to-back-to-back. Some feat that. Not many teams. I think, what, United done it. I can't think who else. Has anyone else actually done back-to-back-to-back? Did Liverpool do it? But then pre-Premier League? Can't remember. For me, I mean, I'd like the Champions League, but I'd only like the Champions League just to get opposition fans and media off the back, you know, talking about, you know, Pep will regret not winning it if he doesn't, and blah, blah. You know, it's a cup competition. I'm not bothered. Bread and butter is the Premier League for me every day of the week. And I think if we were to get back-to-back Premier League titles and we didn't win the Champions League in the next season, then I'd possibly go, okay, we've got three Premier League titles on the trot. I'm not possibly bothered about the following season if we didn't win the Premier League, but let's go all out for the Champions League. But I don't know. It's Premier League for me. We could still keep the South Stand singing section. Yeah, you could do. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right, Blue Heart. We could still do that. I'm sure we would. Cletus Brown spent so much money and can't get past the quarterfinals. Yeah, but look at the Premier League. Formidables, treble, not been done since, you know, never been done before, ever, domestic treble. So, you know, we spent all that money and won 4 trophies. A devoted City fan who couldn't afford to take City to a higher level. Good man, good chairman. There you go. I am under Papad, underscore Papad. No, we have to go for Champions League next season. We have all it takes. Well, I mean, each to their own. I mean, we were talking about I think we were talking about, or Rob was talking about something like this on the podcast that we did. And I think it might be, I don't know, maybe, I don't know, because I've not done a survey on everybody. But I think depending on your age, and you've got to remember, if let's say, I don't know, and I'm only guessing, maybe people on here like Reese and others would be able to clarify this. I can't speak for somebody in their teenage years or early 20s, but I for me, I mean, I've grown up watching City since '77, so I mean, I've just watched crap pretty much. My highlight was the 5-1 when we beat United at Main Road, and then you move on and you've got the '99 promotion thing. But still, in that big period, there were even though we had a couple of seasons of decent teams, overall, that period of 20 years that I was watching them prior to the '99 Wembley playoff final, we were pretty garbage, if I'm honest. So the Premier League was everything. It was what you were striving for. And then they changed the dynamic of the Champions League to make it, 4 teams and not the European Cup was for the winners of the champions of that league. It sort of like took that little bit of, for me, the glamour away from it, because it was just the best of the best in Europe were playing against each other. And then it was like 4 teams competing in it and calling it the Champions League. And it's like, well, how can it be the Champions League when it's 4 teams and not one? So I think since I've been growing up watching football, the Premier League has always been the driving force for me and my mates following City, whereby you just wanted to get there, and winning it the first time was fantastic, and then winning it again and again and again. I mean, it's been incredible. And for me, I think with the younger generation that have come into it, the Champions League is such a big thing nowadays for newer fans or younger fans. It's seen as more glamorous than the Premier League, but not for me. And maybe I'm wrong in that. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, you tell me. For those who are, younger, a lot younger than me, maybe the Champions League is seen as that that big sort of gleaming trophy, and that's where everyone should be aiming for. But for me, no, consistency over 38 games is everything, absolutely everything. If we, I'm not saying I'd love us to win it just to shut people up, but if you gave me the option every single year, I'd always take the Premier League. 2 trophies last season, 3 this, maybe 4 next. Reese, I think we put too much pressure on ourselves. We need an underdog spirit. Gary, I believe that Pep Guardiola has a philosophy that every competition you're in, that you should win. So I think he'll go for a 4 again, as he did when he was in Spain. I agree with you. And if you hear, I think Khaldoon said, didn't he, in his video, the chairman's video that he did recently, I think he said when Yaya Toure came to City after he'd left Barca, Khaldoon spoke to Yaya about the fact is, what is it that Barca have under Pep, and he just said they want to win every single game. It don't matter whether it's a friendly, it's a cup competition. They want to win. That's the mentality they have. And Khaldoon said we just didn't have that mentality at the time. We just didn't. So I think now we do. I think Pep. I think Pep is disappointed if we put in a disappointing performance, even if we win. You see him, even if we win, you see what he's like with Sterling and SANE and others. After the game, even if we might have won 4-0, he's disappointed in certain elements. So I think we've got that absolute belief that we want to win everything. I can't see Pep sort of, saying, "Oh, we'll take it easy in this competition." I think he'll go all out for everything. Blue Heart, those team selections yesterday was spot on, Andy. Yeah, it was interesting. I could have I put together about 10. I just thought it'd take too long to go through every single one. I just tried to pick one from what was our main sort of lineup last season. If we were to get these 3 players that we're talking about, Maguire, Rodri and Cancelo, how could they fit into the system? Looking at a cup team and bringing in all the ones who are outside of the normal regular 11. Then I did a 3-5-2 formation and how that might look and might work. And then did one what I personally think, if we do sign these players, Pep will probably go for next season if Leroy SANE was to stay. Cletus Brown, but you're not underdogs. No, we're not. I think that's the point he was trying to make. Steve Black, whatever happened to Big Ellen with the bell at Main Road? Well, she died. Yeah, she died. Oh, God. 10 years ago. Over 10 years ago, I think. She died. I actually, when I had a season ticket in the North Stand, I was about 3-4 rows behind. And it was a crap one because I was right in the middle of the goal. And yeah, the views were pretty rubbish, but it was the only one I could get at the time, and she was down to the right from me, and it was the ding ding, and everyone's like, bloody noise, shut up. But she was she was a legend around Main Road. We are the MCFC TV stand. Abdallah, we need to win the Champions League to cement ourselves as elites in Europe, because I get told by people who are not great until we win. Yeah, but they're just people's opinions, you know. That's, well, all right, I'll tell you what then. I'll tell you what. Yeah, Abdallah, I'll ask you this question, and let's try and put this to bed then one time. If people are telling you you're not great until you've won the Champions League, are Liverpool great considering they've never won the Premier League, even though they've just won the Champions League? Are they great and we're not? And they've never won a Premier League since it started. So who's the greater team at the moment? City after winning 4 trophies last season, yeah, and never won a Champions League, or Liverpool winning the Champions League last season, but have never won a Premier League. If this team don't win the Champions League, it's a big miss. Yeah, I mean, quite possibly. I mean, you could possibly say that. I'm not saying that City fans don't want to win it. I think they just want to. Some City fans want to prioritise. Some City fans want the Champions League, and that's perfectly fine. What do you reckon we could do to improve the atmosphere at the Etihad? Well, we talked about that earlier, mate. We were talking about the atmosphere and, you know, safe standing and everything. Fire stick stream free. Yeah. Brigant Shah, hi Andy, mate. Just joining WhatsApp. Oh God, we talked about loads, mate. Quite loads of questions. We talked about SANE. Just going to quickly sort of finish on the last couple of things in a second. Just going through. Peter. Andy, any news around Small White House getting built next to the head? Any news about Small White House getting built next to the Etihad? I don't know, mate. Paul Murray had my trainers nicked by a scouser at Colin Bell's testimonial. My mum went mad when I got home and had something. I hope it wasn't a long walk, mate. Or did you have to walk and then get on a bus or something? Jay Fresh Stunner. What trainers were they? Jay Fresh Stunner. Yeah, because he got all 3 English competitions, was expensive last season. Yeah. Jay Fresh, maybe about 80 to 90 a month, but I would get all the games. Yeah, I mean, it's similar to what I'm paying, if I'm being honest with you. And that's gone down because I got fibre to the home broadband a few months ago. So I've now got like incredible speeds and things like that. And actually, because of that, my original bill with BT used to be about 65 quid a month for everything and free calls, you name it, BT Sport. And because I put that in, they negotiated it down to about 40 odd pound a month. So I'm saving about 20. So if that was to go back to what the original was, I'd be paying about 110, 115 pound a month for Sky and BT, which is madness. Small club mentality, not being bothered about Champions League, all the best players want to win it. I don't think anybody, and I know you're trying to come on here and sort of wind people up, but I don't think anybody has said that nobody's bothered about winning the Champions League. I think people just have an opinion, and some City fans on here said they want to win the Champions League over the Premier League, and that's all opinions on there. But you hear Liverpool fans saying, you know, oh, I'm not bothered, I'd rather win the Champions League than the Premier League. Well, is that small club mentality? Not wanting to win something you've not won for 29, 30 years? So, you're not elite. Well, you're not elite until you won the Premier League, really. Your own domestic league. If you can't win that, how can you be even possibly elite? Look at the final. Contested by 2 teams who've not won the Premier League. That's not elite football. How can it be? How can it possibly be elite football if 2 teams in a final have never won their own domestic league for 85 years? Something like that. How can it possibly be elite? Who do you think was City's worst manager on ball? Frank Clark. Stuart Pearce. Frank Clark or Alan Ball. Both weren't great, if I'm honest with you. It's a toss of a coin. Either of them. I didn't think either of them were very good. God, may they rest in peace. But no, none of them. We're winding you up when we say Community Shield formidables. We won the treble. Never been domestic treble. Never been done before. Back to back would really piss the dippers off, Andy. Absolutely. This FFP is taking so long. Maybe no case will come in with the words. Well, I said that when we've done the FFP video, Steve. It's I still don't think anything will come of the FFP stuff. It's still the FIFA one. I keep saying that's the one that's going to get us the transfer ban potentially. So yeah, that's the one that we're worried about. The FFP stuff, I'm really not. I mean, we might get something, but I'm not really that fussed about it. I'll be honest with you. I'm more concerned about the FIFA investigation, where we could get a 2-window or a 1-window ban. Istanbul, Brian Horton was pretty bad managerial choice. Yeah, he wasn't great. Any news about cocaine prize getting down? Where I can bet. Don't need that on here. Steve Coppell was worst manager, followed by Paul. Steve Coppell, wasn't it? We've had some crap, haven't we? Mark Armstrong, living abroad like myself, I believe the Champions League would raise our profile much more than. Yeah, I mean, like I say, it's interesting living abroad. This is what I mean. It's like people have different perspectives of what means bigger, and I'm not saying it wouldn't raise our profile. I'm not. And I'll be honest with you, and maybe the reason why I'm saying it is because I'm really not that bothered if our profile is the biggest in the world. It don't bother me in the slightest. I'm really... If we were the 20th, biggest followed club in the UK, it won't. I'm not bothered. It doesn't matter to me. Maybe people, when you're overseas, and if you live overseas, maybe other people view it in different ways. So it's quite interesting that you say that. So maybe it's more about what other people think. Me personally, I'm really not bothered. I won't care if we were only getting 40,000 a week at the Etihad, or 35,000. If we were winning 3 trophies every season, I'm not bothered. I go, pay your money to watch the team and support the team. I don't really care what other people think about it. So, but I understand what you're saying. Premier League is the greatest. 20 tough teams competing over 38 seems the best. Champions League exciting but not important. Yeah, I'm with you. We always was a yo-yo club in City. My days, lowest day, Stoke away, getting relegated to Division 2 along with Stoke. 4,000 Blues watching. Yeah. Champions League is the biggest thing to win in football. No, it's not. That's your opinion. Best goalie ever at City: Corrigan, Hart, Weaver, Edison. I've got to say Edison. I'll be honest with you. Love Nicky Weaver. Really like Joe Hart. Love Joe Corrigan. He was a legend. But Edison does things I've never seen another keeper do. He sort of blows my mind, if I'm honest with you. He's just incredible. Nasri Abdi. Do things City defence are not that good because City control football match though? Well, quite a good point. Maybe they can be prone to switching off because of the attacking intent and the way that the fullbacks bomb on, leaves maybe spaces around the back. Quite possibly. Only New Blues think it's important to win Champions League. It's a corrupt tournament, so stop talking like a glitter. Well said, Mark Bow. Do you think it's good? Harry Dowd was better than Corrigan, and Tony Coton was better than Hart. Tony Coton, another very good keeper. Can't say I know. I never saw Harry Dowd, but by all accounts, my uncles and my dad and that used to talk about Harry Dowd. But I've only read about him. So need top centre half. You reckon John Malone? Who would you want? Rick Kozaritis. Hi Andy, hope you're well, Blue. I'm very well, thank you, Rick. Nasri, laughed out City. I don't know what that is. What's going on in the under-12s? Okay, I'll just quickly talk about this last few because, yeah, I'm nearly running over here. So, basically, what all this was, which was quite interesting, I thought I read an article this morning, and basically, it was an article talking about how Pep Guardiola has changed the landscape of English football, basically, since he's been in at Man City, talking about the way we're brave in possession and clinical in the final third and things like that, and how not only is he now making other managers and other teams look at the way they play, but also the way the City system is really sort of everybody plays the way, the Pep way, right the way through from kids football all the way through to the academy, through to the first team, through to the women's team as well. And it was just, I'm sure you've seen, there was stuff on Twitter and social media of the under-12s that were playing in a tournament, and there's clips of showing there's a big black guy, he's only 12, but he's huge in midfield and controls the ball fantastically well. And there's loads of little clips of showing them how they play out from the back and move the ball. I mean, these are 10, 11-year-olds, 12-year-olds. I mean, amazing control. Well, officially, Man City's under-12 team is now officially the best in the world after winning the inaugural. They won it a few years ago. They won an inaugural cup in Florida, and that is just those players have progressed even further, and the incredible dynamics in the way that you can take small children and make them play the way Pep wants them to play, I find absolutely incredible. So it's there, that philosophy is there, and what concerns me is we need somebody when Pep eventually goes, whenever that may be, to carry that on. It'd be a shame to instill that whole mentality, philosophy in our kids, in our youth teams. And then when Pep goes, it's not continued. So I think the transition in the next few years of seeing who really comes to the fore, we know he likes Arteta, is going to be really interesting. Do we get the likes of an Iniesta? A Xavi, who I've spoke about before, Xavi being supposed to be going to be the next big thing in world football and coaching and things like that. So it's just a shame that but then you go and see, what happens in the under-21s, Foden being put on the bench and they're getting knocked out by Romania, and that transition between these teams, and you've got great academies like Chelsea's in particular, who've been very successful. But it's great to see this philosophy is going right the way from 5, 6, 7, 8-year-olds, where it is a bit of fun, but they're still encouraged to play out from the back and not just a keeper picks the ball up and kicks it out and 5 players all surround the ball and it's like the Ben Hill show. It's great to see them that they're actually moving the ball out. Paul Murray, Helen Turner, a lovely woman who used to give us sweets. What, my wife? That's my wife's name. But yeah, it's ironic, isn't it? That's her name. Big Joe Corrigan would always wave to her and would sing, Helen is a big fat footballer. She would smile and ring a bell. Yeah. Liverpool, an amazing team, quite close to win the title, not going to lie. Yeah, very, very good team. 1 point off us, and we were good. So they must be good. What else? That was just cable, okay. Well, I'm a Berry fan. Oh, are you? Oh, you'll know Den, who comes on here. He's a big Berry fan and a City fan as well. Can't be the best in the world when you ain't the best in your league. We want to win the Champions League. Do you think City will sign Maguire? Don't know, JT Techers. I'm not sure. I think if the price is right, possibly. But we'll see. Adidas Samba. What, to get the 262 to Hemston? Adidas Samba, eh? Yes, you can't beat Sambas. I'm saying it was the black leather ones with the white stripes, not the suede ones. Right, lastly, Danilo. Well, there was a little bit of chatter about Danilo. We're still not sure what's happening. It looks like he's possibly going to be gone. Hi, Sharon Hall. Hi, Brian Gardner. How are you? It looks like he's gonna be going. Now the rumours were, I think I've done a video a number of weeks ago saying that Inter Milan were very interested for a round, but they only wanted to pay something like 15 million initially with 3 million in add-ons, and City were saying, look, we want closer to 25 million for him. But now, with the fact of managerial changes, it looks like Inter are not interested in. And not really interested in Danilo anymore. So the rumours are that City were trying to get Juventus and Cancelo from Juventus and throw Danilo in as part exchange. But Juventus, worried about FFP, want the 60 million euros as cash. And that's it. They don't want to trade and have Danilo in the offer whatsoever. So we'll have to wait and see what's happening with Danilo. I feel sorry for him because he's never let us down when he's come in. I think he was excellent in the games he played last season. But clearly, if the rumours are true about Cancelo, it looks like there's nothing really there for Danilo. So we'll wait and see what happens to him. I think City were hopeful that the Inter thing would have gone through. We've got some cash back on that. We can invest in other players. The Inter thing looks like it's over. Inter are not interested now anymore in signing Danilo, and City have also tried to offload him to Juventus as part of the deal with Cancelo, and they're not interested in a swap cash deal. They want cash only, 60 million euros. So yeah, poor Danilo. I feel sorry for him, I must admit. Don't know where he's going to end up. Does he stay? Well, who knows? Do City pull out and say, well, we're not paying you 60 million, you take Danilo or nothing, and we'll keep Danilo and not buy Cancelo? I don't know. So anyway, just very quickly, last few sort of, how's it going, Mark Cosherall? You well, mate? English Mastiff, Cleats Brown, your point is irrelevant. Go and get your head down, son. I haven't done anything wrong. You have nothing to worry about. UEFA haven't done nothing to you. And that's your opinion. English Mastiff, SANE will be like a new signing. Well, let's hope so. I mean, I really do want him to stay, but as I said, I did that video in August, 4 or 5 games into the season last year, and did that video on him asking, is there something wrong? But let's hope so, because on his day, he's unstoppable. He's unplayable, absolutely unplayable. And I think when De Bruyne plays, and I think this season with De Bruyne being out so much, when De Bruyne plays, he finds SANE over and over and over again, and David Silva can play those great passes behind the sort of right back for SANE. And I just think, I don't know what's gone on. I can only assume it's a personal thing. But let's hope he signs. Let's hope he wants to stay. We can get this sorted out. Let's hope he gets a new agent and we can quickly put this to bed. And like I said, we don't know whether, he said to the club, look, I definitely want to sign, but I'll leave it to my agent when I get a new agent. So as it stands at the moment, I can't do anything because I'm not negotiating my own contract. I need my agent to do it. He's now looking for a new agent, whoever that may be, and it'll all get sorted. We don't know. We don't know. That could be happen. No, it could be the complete opposite. And it's a stalling tactic to run down his contract. Because you never know. You just never know. But let's hope so. He could be world class. What else? Solatosis. So we love you, Andy. We love you, Andy. You make me happy. What's so great. I remember watching the under-8s at half-time at the Etihad. They were amazing. Incredible. You only have to go back and look at those videos of the under-12 team. It's like, wow. These are like 10, 11-year-old kids playing in a proper system. Absolutely incredible. Will I please shave that beard? No. I might do one day. Can't wait. I did actually shave it. When did I shave it? Shaved it last year. But that was only because I had my trimmers, and where was I? Can't remember. I was in Amsterdam, I think. And I got up in the morning. I thought, oh, just give the ends just a quick trim here. And I actually caught myself in it, and I cut a load of it out. It was like, what's that big bald patch? So I had to shave it off and have a goatee. I walked down, and the pilots were like looking at me, thinking, what's different about you? And I'd shaved all this off. Can't wait for the day we go back to the kicker run. So I know when you think about it. Hi, Brian. Julio Castaneda, how are you? Oh my God, I made it to another live stream. We're going now. Who's your favourite player? At City? if it's City, it's David Silva. Always said it, David Silva for me. One of the greatest players I've seen in a blue shirt. Incredible player. Going back to the old school days, because I used to play up front, I loved Marco van Basten. Thought he was a wonderful player. Shame about his injury. But yeah, Van Basten was a gorgeous player to watch. Who else did I like? Thought Ruud Gullit was a great player, wonderful player as well. Who else did I like to watch when I was younger? You'll kill me for this. You'll absolutely kill me. And I think I've said it. On videos before. But when I was really young, I used to love watching Kenny Dalglish. I must admit. My dad was Scottish, so I think there was a bit of thing in that. So, but yeah, Dalglish I thought was an excellent player. I just like players who are good footballers. I'll be honest. So, for me, Kevin De Bruyne. Kevin De Bruyne on his day is just genius, absolute genius. Mahrez has to step up. He does. Never watched him, but surely Troutman must be up. Quite possibly. You could well say that. Yes, Mahrez has to step up. I agree. In 3 years, he could be one of the top 5 players in the world. Ability, his feet. Yeah. Frank Swift, best City keeper. Yeah. Never saw it. I can only talk about really people I saw. What's the time slot for tomorrow, Andy? I don't know. Probably around about 4 o'clock-ish, I would imagine. There's a few of them here. My wife and my brother-in-law and his wife are going to Belfast tomorrow for the day to sort out some family stuff. So, depends. I think my older lad's looking after my niece and nephew. So if he takes them out, probably be around about 4 o'clock-ish. Rapid replays. I hate to say this about City play, but I think Mahrez is dreadful. He's not had a best season. I expected a bit more, but we've got to give him the summer pre-season and see what happens next season. And if he's still the same, then might be time to get rid. News about City's new captain, nothing yet. I'm hoping it's Kevin De Bruyne. I don't think it will be, but I've got a feeling that I'd like it to be De Bruyne. You'll hate me now, I love George Best. Well, I mean, I just like watching footballers, and it doesn't matter who they play for. George Best was an incredible footballer, without a shadow of a doubt. There's no doubt in it. So I just loved watching footballers that were great on the ball. So yeah, you have to, even when Shearer was at his pomp, brilliant striker, absolutely superb striker. So any player that was great. It doesn't matter where they're from. You look at them and look at Laudrup brothers, just incredible. Zidane, brilliant to watch. Figo, wonderful player to watch. Roberto Carlos, looking at it from a defensive point of view, I mean, absolutely incredible to watch. So yeah, it was anyway, I've got to go. So I've been on way over than I thought it was going to be, as usual, so I do apologise, but thank you. I had loads of people on here watching, so that's been brilliant. And thank you very much for all your comments, your questions. Maradona, unbelievable in his pomp when he was at Napoli in particular. He was incredible. I actually saw Maradona live when he played for Napoli. Unbelievable player. Really enjoyed the blog today. Thank you, Paul Murray. Steve Oatway, I've been bullied by Andy. Sorry, mate. See you later, English Mastiff. Take care, buddy. I'll be back tomorrow. And if you've got any questions or something you want me to talk about, think, oh, what about this? Can we do that? Should we talk about this? Then just put a comment below this video. And if we can, I will. Good to see he's got the number 9, Daniel Clegg. Yeah, he's obviously clearly decided now that he thinks clearly he's ready and he wants that number 9 one. So great news. See Andy, will be more available, can come on more streams. Great, mate. Baggio, I think you're on him out there, mate. Roberto Baggio, he was a brilliant player. One of the best today, got to admit. It's getting better all the time. Thank you very much, Blue Heart. Ocean Rage, have a good one, Andy. You too, buddy. Steve Black, thanks. Enjoyed this, mate. You're more than welcome. I'll be back tomorrow. Have a brilliant Sunday wherever you are, whatever the weather's like. And give it a thumbs up if you want to before you go. And like I said, if there's something in particular you want us to talk about, then comment below this video. It'll be on the channel very shortly. Yes, Brian remembers Helen's bell. So take care, guys. Thank you very much. Cheers, Andy. See you, Blue Heart. And don't forget, if you're not a subscriber, click subscribe, hit the bell icon.